Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's been a very long time. I didn't plan on taking this long to make the next video, but I found myself in a bit of a rut when it comes to reading. I've read a couple of books which haven't really piqued my curiosity, and that has kind of killed off my motivation to read, so of course, I haven't really had many things to review. And I guess that is actually what this video is on, because today, it actually isn't a book review. I'm just going to be talking about books and how to kind of get into reading, because it's not as easy as just picking up a book and then before you know it, you've read 20 books by the end of the year. There's a lot of things which go into it. It's not hard, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here, but there's just a few key things which have helped me along the way, and they continue to help me along the way. And yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So, when reading a book, I feel like, or especially when starting out, the most important thing to do is to find a book which you actually like, because I've had conversations with so many different people, and they have just started on their book journey, and I ask them what book they're reading, and they tell me it with such a lack of enthusiasm. It's like, oh, I'm reading this book and it's on like self-development, and it's alright, but I've been reading it for like 5-6 months, and I still ain't finished it. And I'm like, why are you forcing yourself to read a book which you clearly don't enjoy reading? I thought, when you're starting out, to start with something you don't enjoy and to take a year, 6 months to a year to finish it is the worst possible start you can have, because after that, the relationship you have with books it starts on the worst position possible. And I've met a lot of people, including myself, like when I was starting out, like I'd read a book and I wouldn't even finish it, and I'd find myself needing to just have a break. And in that break, I wouldn't read anything else because I feel like I was just sick of reading, even though I'd only gotten through like half of the book. And it's just like, listen, if it doesn't resonate with your soul and it's taken you how long to finish it, just cut it. You know what I mean? There is no clause in your contract which says you have to finish every single book you start. Just move on to the next book. You know what I mean? Try something different. Shake it up a bit. And you never know. You could find a random book which you stumble upon, I don't know, like the edge of the earth, and you find that you enjoy it 10 times more than the one you've been forcing yourself to read for 6 months. And now all of a sudden you want to read the next book and the next book and the next book, and then you end up building some momentum. And before you know it, you're 7 books in the year, and you're like, wow, cool. Anyway, that's my first pointer. My second pointer is it's all about developing habits. So I guess it's to kind of pencil out a time or times in the day where you want to read and try and stick to it. So my routine is I wake up in the mornings and I usually read for about an hour to an hour and a half in the mornings before I do anything. And that kind of shapes my day, adds some routine to it, and also it's become a habit. So it's like now I don't really see it as a task. It's just what I do. And once you develop that habit, you find yourself kind of just speeding through books, you know what I mean? One after the other, just knocking them down, you know what I mean? Like bowling, strike after strike after strike. But yeah, habits. And thirdly, I'd say mix it up. Don't read all of you may find a genre which really does speak to you, and you found yourself delving into different authors of the same genres, etc., but it never hurts to mix it up. I mean, just to go completely left. You may have been reading, I don't know, let's say The Sixth Extinction, which is on climate change and the fact like the huge levels of extinction going on at the moment, whether it be fauna with plants or animals, etc., all down to human activity. Or next thing you know, you could find yourself reading Nelson Mandela's, is it an autobiography or biography? Biography. And it never hurts to kind of, I find that I love to switch things up, and that is simply because I just like to keep things interesting. It's like when when you find a nice meal, you're not gonna eat it 3 times a day, 7 times a week, because obviously you're gonna get bored of it. It's gonna start to taste like cardboard. You wanna mix it up a bit. You wanna have, maybe one day you're gonna have some jerk chicken, the next day you're gonna have some lentils, whatever, whatever. But just keep it fresh. Keep it fresh. Also, if you're looking for like books to start with, I'd say start on Instagram. There's so many cool pages on Instagram which just they do book reviews like I do, and I'm gonna link them in the description. And you'll find yourself wanting to read books which you'd never imagined was even in your line of vision or curiosity. And with that, that leads on to like the previous point, which is just mixing it up. So when you do follow these pages, yeah, a lot of the time it's not in line with what you would usually read, but you end up leaving it feeling a lot more entertained and just fulfilled and nourished. If you know what I mean? Yeah, and I guess what else? I made a little list. Yeah, of course, when you find your favorite author, kind of a lot of the time they have more than one book. Just go into their stuff and go through the list and find out which ones are your favorite, and then you could go through different authors from there, and etc. etc. But anyway, guys, that was just a short video because I feel like I was waffling. That's just a short video on how to get into reading, how to continue it, how to keep the momentum, how to keep things fresh to death. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm joking. And I hope this will help at least one person who is just starting out on their journey on reading, to kind of just to push through that barrier and to put that dead book down and pick up another one, stop forcing it, you know what I mean? And just to read some great books. And with that, guys, I'm going to tie it up. I'm going to wrap it up then. And next week, I'll be back with a book review. I should do. Like I said, I've been in a rut with reading. I keep on just getting halfway through books and getting bored, and I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just not reading the right books. But I'm in the process. I'm reading Afropean at the moment, which is on a black guy who goes traveling through Europe and his experience as a black backpacker going through Europe. It's cool. It's pretty cool. Hopefully I'll review that if I don't finish that halfway. But anyway, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will be back next week. And until then, enjoy reading, enjoy life, enjoy your plants, and enjoy the grey overcast weather.